it's like, if you know you're going away for a long time, in a way it's exciting to be transported from county to prison because you know you're going somewhere that's at least a little bit better. Knowledge, you can give it away for free, and you give it away and you still retain it. It's the only thing you can give away and still keep.
Hello, my fellow Martians. My name is Harry Mars, and this is the On Mars Pod, where we take a deep dive into creative professionals, entrepreneurs, and other inspiring Martians alike.
You have to roll with someone because there's no other out. You can't just be by yourself. A lot of the times I've relied on people and they haven't come through for me. I got to a point where I was like, I'm not going to rely on anyone. I'm going to do everything myself. Oh, this sounds like Kendrick mixed with the Backstreet Boys mixed with Taylor Swift. And you're like, bro, that doesn't even make sense. What are you talking about?
Hello, my fellow Martians. Today on Mars, we are joined by a recording artist and tattoo artist. We got
Yes,
Free
sir.
Zoey in the building.
What's good?
Thank you for
We
being here, bro.
Of course, bro.
So me and Zoey met through mutual homies, Futuristic and Austin Alco. Austin Alco kind of introduced you to the crew, I feel like. I don't know what that, we'll get into that relationship, but yeah, he's homies now. And we officially met really like 24-hour stream. And also you came over for the 4th of July party and we're like, yo, we got to do a pod episode.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And we're here now.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you taking the time to come on, man.
Of course, I appreciate you having me.
Of course, man. So on Mars, we take a deep dive into creative professionals, entrepreneurs, and other inspiring Martians alike. That's our whole thing here. So that's why I had to have you on, because just by hearing your story through the homies, I'm like, dude, this is going to be crazy because
yeah, it's a little bit of a story.
Yeah,
that's
man.
for sure.
You lived quite a life.
Yeah.
So usually we'd kind of like to go before everything happened, you know what I'm saying? The beginning days. You grew up in Washington, in Bothell, Seattle?
Yeah, around that area. Yeah, Seattle.
So in that time, what were you doing, man, as a kid? Like, what were the loves? Like, what were your passions?
As a kid, music has always been a passion for me since I was probably 12.
Okay.
And I started rapping.
Listening to music.
I was ass, bro.
Yeah. You started rapping. Yeah. So how were you? Were you recording yourself at that age too? You were able to figure that out?
Kinda, not really. I was just recording on my phone. You know what I mean? And just listening to it myself.
Wow.
I thought I was the greatest.
Of course.
But I was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was the start, you know? Everyone.
For sure. So what was, I guess when you were in Seattle, those were the early days still, before high school and stuff like that. What were your parents listening to? What was your influences in the house? Were you watching movies or listening to music that other people were showing you? Or what was that kind of like?
Yeah, so my dad usually listens to rap and R&B and not a lot of R&B, a little bit, mostly rap and just a variety of stuff, rock, all kinds of stuff. Okay. My mom listens to R&B, so I had a lot of rap and R&B my whole life. And most of my friends listen to rap, so.
Okay, so were you specifically rapping them back in the day, or were you trying to sing too?
No, I wasn't trying to sing.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, when did you did you do that the whole time, I guess? Were you always even into high school, were you starting to make beats and produce with other artists, make music with other people and stuff like that? What was that kind of like?
For sure, yeah. Throughout middle school and high school, I was always making music, and I didn't really show people for a long time until I was probably 15, and I started making my own beats and trying to get a better recording setup and just recording at home and trying to mix it. It sounded terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it does. Yeah, that's part of the process, man. And you were so hungry, you were just I want to do it myself. I don't want to wait for someone else or pay someone for studio time or.
Right.
And these are the days of SoundCloud too. I think, right?
SoundCloud days,
so those are the days of being a indie rapper.
For real, yeah, yeah. SoundCloud was a whole vibe and era, man. It's dead now, I feel.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it was short-lived, but it was a perfect time for it. And I think it lived in its generation, and it needed to exist in that time.
For sure.
It definitely birthed the whole generation of rappers, and then some.
Changed the whole industry.
I agree.
Really.
Yeah, and it really turned the industry on its head in a sense of corporate, because of the fact that now the power was in the creators' hands, and it wasn't up to them for distribution, which was cool. So I love that you were able to kind of be influenced by that, because I feel you've been indie this whole time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's you have that drive of an independent artist from the beginning.
they say wealth is in ownership.
That's right.
You know, so I'm not trying to be giving away percents unless you're an artist that worked on it with me.
That's right.
And then you getting what you deserve.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean? But aside
man.
from that, like, I'm not trying to be giving no one a huge chunk of my catalog. For what? For just promoting me, and labels do offer a lot, but I feel like it's stuff that I can build on my own as well, and I can just take care of everything in my own hands. Like, I've taken care of myself my whole life, you know?
That's right. Yeah, man. No, and I think a lot of times people don't realize that a record deal is just a bank loan, basically.
Right.
You know, you're just paying back a loan for potentially the rest of your life. Depending on what they want to do with you. So the creative control being in your hands, you've had that mindset from the beginning, which I think is really important as an independent artist, because if you don't have the drive to do it yourself and want to be that guy yourself, then no one's going to come save you type shit.
For sure.
So,
and it's deep too. Like, I feel like a lot of the times I've relied on people and they haven't come through for me. And so, like, I got to a point where I was like, I'm not going to rely on anyone. I'm going to do everything myself. I'm going to make my own cover art. I'm going to make my own beats. I'm going to do everything because no one else is doing this, helping me build and growing with me. I did that for a long time, but it is important to work with other artists. I realized, you know, after time, work with other creatives and network and build together. Yeah. So now I've gotten it to a place where I have a good network of people that I'm constantly working with. And, you know, you can't do everything yourself because you can't be the best at everything, right? But that was my mentality for a long time. So I guess it's just about finding out what it is that you are good at and what you can do yourself, and then delegating the other tasks out.
Yes.
And, you know,
you got it.
People.
100%, dude. And I think a lot of people that are the people that you're working with now, I mean, we were just talking about, you know, Milo, Tony, Austin, Futuristic, all these guys that that are the homies. We've all kind of in our own way have done our own DIY, try to do everything ourselves, and realize that, like, you can only go so far without having other people involved.
Right.
So I think, yeah, you're right on point, man. But the fact that you put in that time by yourself, like, it kind of got you to a point where you can communicate with other people that are like on that level as well.
Sure. And that's a good point. Like, in the beginning, when you don't have a following, when you don't have an audience, it's hard to network. It's hard to get people to believe in you and want to work with you because you don't have anything to show for it.
That's right.
So to a certain point, you do have to create and do everything yourself. And so that you have something tangible. It's basically, you know, like proof of concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And then once you can bring it to someone else, then they can kind of piggyback. And it's like a yes-anding back and forth.
Exactly.
It's like endlessly. Today's episode is sponsored by Lantern Coffee, based out of my hometown, Grand Rapids, Michigan. If you're still sipping on that gas station coffee, this is your sign to get your life together. Lantern does coffee the right way. Whole beans, small batch, straight from the source. I personally get 2 bags a month myself. It's what fuels us here every day on Mars. If you want to taste what I'm talking about, go to lanterncoffee.com, use promo code ONMARS for 20% off of your first order. That's lanterncoffee.com, use promo code ONMARS, 20% off your first order. Treat yourself, because friends don't let friends drink bad coffee. Let's get back to the show. So I do kind of want to talk about, because you moved from Washington to Oregon at like a kind of a shift in your life. And you talk about in one of your songs, you said like Glock at 15. Like you had a Glock 15. Like you were kind of probably around like a rough environment, I would assume.
Yeah.
So I guess obviously you don't have to go into too much detail, but like did you feel like you were just running with the wrong crowds and you just had to get out of town situations, or what was that time like?
When I left?
Yeah, like I guess leading up to you leaving, and then, you know, because I don't know what happened there, but I feel like just being 15 in a circumstance like that where you have a gun on you, that's pretty heavy. Right. You know,
there's definitely something going on. It shouldn't be at that point. Yeah. When I was a teenager, I think like I think I just felt abandoned a lot of the times, and I felt like alone, you know. So I had to look for that crowd to fit into and look for people that, you know, would accept me. And so that kind of got me just rolling with the wrong people, doing bad shit. And like, I was living with my mom. She was a single mother taking care of me, right? And she didn't really have a lot at the time. So I always felt like a responsibility to do something with myself. And unfortunately, at that age, I chose the wrong way to go about it. And so I was in the streets too long, and it's a bad road, man. It's just like it unravels, you know, and it gets worse and worse, and you try to get out of it, and it sucks you back in.
Yeah.
You know, and so I tried to leave Washington to go start new in Oregon, and it was already too far unraveled by then. Ended up in prison.
Yeah. So I guess that's you know, for anyone who doesn't know, he went to prison for 8 years, and it's kind of like you just got on December of 2024, but in the circumstance in that time when you went to Oregon, how long were you in Oregon before that happened?
I was in Oregon for 6 days.
6 days.
6 days, bro.
Oh man. Yeah. What were the events leading up to that? Were there like fights that happened before that, or was it kind of just like
with that particular person, that situation? Yeah, it was kind of like an ongoing feud in a way. Damn. And it was someone that at one point was my friend too.
Damn.
So it's pretty deep, you know.
For sure.
But yeah, it just it sucks, man. Like pride can be a really bad thing.
Yeah.
Because the whole situation was over a female, and he felt jealous and disrespected, and so he attacked me, right? And you know, jealousy's a bitch, man.
Yeah,
jealousy's a bitch. But yeah, so it went downhill pretty quick, you know. And I felt like I was in the moment, and it was adrenaline, right? And I didn't really know how to handle it. You can't really think in a situation like that because he stabbed me, right? And so I'm like bleeding. I just didn't know. Like I really just reacted. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that led to me going to prison.
And that's crazy, man. I'm so sorry that whole situation happened. I mean, reading about it, it's like, it's crazy to like even think about being in a situation like that, because I read that later on, you didn't even know that he had passed.
Right.
And you were just like getting stitched up yourself.
Right, yeah. And I was in the hospital, yeah.
Yeah, so
I was in the hospital from getting stabbed, and then I found out that he died. So I stabbed him back. And so it was just, it was a bad situation all around.
Yeah.
At first, when I was sitting in a jail cell, they put me in something called a fishbowl because of my charge, because I had a murder charge, right? And so they put me in this like basically quarantine cell. It's just one cell, and they put me in this little like Velcro mat instead of like actual clothes or like a jumpsuit, because they were trying to basically just trying to get me to hate where I was at, right? So it's one cell with a big ass one-way, what's it called? Two-way mirror. Yeah.
So they can see through,
so
but you can't see
but I
out.
only see the mirror and see myself, right? And so it's like they call it the observation room, right? It's real weird place to be. So I was there for probably, I want to say like 10 days in that room, just in that room. And all there is like a little mat, toilet, sink, and then that big two-way mirror.
Damn. Fuck, dude. That sounds like a movie.
Yeah,
dude.
It's crazy, yeah.
So I guess how long was it before you kind of were sentenced, I guess, that you were being held? Because it was initially going to be a full like life sentence.
Yeah, it was a life sentence.
And then and then it eventually ended up being 8 years,
right,
for self-defense. So I guess like that 99-month sentence, how long were you in jail before that happened?
So I was in jail for an entire year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before it even went to trial?
Yeah. A whole year not knowing what was going to happen.
Bro, what were you doing?
I was just trying to like keep my mind busy. I was reading a lot. I was trying to learn Spanish. I was just like drawing, writing songs, you know, doing anything I could to preoccupy myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was highly stressful.
So you were basically prepping yourself to potentially be there for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
There was points where I had like accepted that was gonna be my fate.
Damn, dude, that's super heavy, man. So then when you got that 99-month sentence, that must have been, I mean, to some people that's like, what the fuck? But like to you, that's freedom.
Yeah,
that's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, that was a light.
So and, what was that like?
It was interesting because, his family came to court, right, for the trial. And they didn't even know until the day that he had stabbed me first.
Wow.
Right? So that's what's really crazy is that the lawyer, the district attorney who was fighting their case for them, to get me locked up, didn't even tell them the entire case that he had gotten stabbed first.
Damn. So he was purposely withholding information
from them, from the family. But in a way, I guess it's sort of like them not knowing that until that day, which is wrong. Might add.
Absolutely.
They should know.
For a whole year, they should have known the day
exactly what happened.
Yeah,
because that's someone they cared about, they love. They should have known.
Yeah.
But in a way, it worked out for me because that was like breaking news to them at that point, that they didn't know that happened. And this whole time, they're thinking that it was a random attack and that I just killed him for no reason, right? Or for like a dumb reason,
right?
And they did like get that information, and they decided that they didn't want to put me away forever, knowing that he stabbed me first.
Wow.
Right. So because they learned like right at the trial, they were willing to accept me going for less time.
Wow. So that changed everything.
Yeah.
Wow. That's very big of that family, even though they suffered a loss, to be able to almost allow you to still have a life, because you went in there at what, 21?
20.
Bro. Damn. So you had your 21st birthday in prison?
Yeah, in jail.
Fuck.
In county jail, facing life sentence.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, bro. Damn. So then the 99-month sentence, that kind of pivots things a little bit, because now, like I said, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. So now at this point, you start making plans, kind of, in a sense, probably like, what am I going to do when I get out? And you start going hard on the art and the music and creating.
Right.
And I heard that you were making beats and making music on a Switch or something like that. What explain to me what that even means.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, like I got the prison. You go on the bus from county jail to prison. And by the way, prison is much better than county jail.
Wow.
You get a lot more opportunities. There's a lot better food. It's still shitty, but it's better.
Yeah.
You can buy more stuff. So it's like, if you're going away for a long time, in a way, it's exciting to be transported from county to prison, because you're going somewhere that's at least a little bit better.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the grass is slightly greener.
Exactly. And but yeah, I'd never been, like, it's my first and only time going, so I was like nervous, and I didn't know what it was gonna be like. You know what I mean?
For sure.
It ended up being like not how I expected. It wasn't as tough as I expected. And, you see the movies and the shows, and you think like day one you're gonna get pressed, and you do a little bit, but it's, you know what I mean? It's not that crazy as people think. But anyway, so I got to prison, and I'm like thinking, okay, I got 8 years. What am I gonna do with it? And what am I gonna do with myself? And so I just like made a promise to myself that I wasn't gonna let it change the good parts about my character, And so as people know, there's a lot of racism in prison. There's a lot of segregation. There's a lot of hatred just in general. There's a lot of toxic traits going around, culture, toxic culture in there. And so I tried really hard not to become institutionalized, being in there for so long. And I made that promise to myself when I very first went, and I held that up. I never joined a gang in there. I never compromised my values. You have to roll with, like, there's groups, right, for each race, and each race has their own tables, their own cells, their own units, right? And so you have to roll with someone because there's no other out. You can't just be by yourself. You know what I mean? It doesn't work like that. So I'm white, so I roll with the whites in there. There's a lot of racist dudes there. You know what I mean? That's what it is. But I didn't let that affect me. I didn't let it influence me. Never gave in to that. And I made sure that I was willing to stand up for my values. You know what I mean? Because like here I am learning Spanish. I have Black family that's blood related to me. And I'm in this place where it's just hatred and racism all around me. Yeah. So I had to, I really didn't want to like entertain that at all. And so right from the gate, I was ready to stand up for my values and what I believe in. And so I ended up having to fight a lot in the beginning.
Wow.
And over time, I feel like it got so much easier because I was just genuine and authentic the whole time. I never tried to be anyone else that I wasn't. And so like I built relationships with people even though we had differences, even though we saw things in a different way. And I was able, by the end of my set, I was able to sit at any table in the day room. I could sit at the Blacks table, I could sit at the Hispanic table, I could sit at the Native American table, and I could still sit at the white table, regardless of the race politics.
Wow.
Because I stayed solid of who I was the whole time. And I let it be known.
Yeah.
Openly.
So it was respecting.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. So that's, I guess, did you, those first few times when you were having to fight, was it within your own group?
Yeah.
Damn. Because of your differences?
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I mean, that shows, I'm sure that showed even like the other races too. Like, damn, that dude fucking he stands up for what he believes in.
Right.
Like, it doesn't take no shit even from his own kind or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In a sense, in a jail sense.
Right.
Damn, bro. So did you did you have that, did you roll with like different people every day, or did you kind of like,
no.
Yeah.
So like
you had like a friend group in a sense?
You basically, you have what's called a designator. It's literally in the system. So in like their computer system in the prison, they have in your file who you roll with. And it literally says whites, Blacks, Hispanics.
That's pretty crazy.
It's crazy. Right.
It's still like that.
It's still like that. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
It's literally in the system because they won't put someone from one group in a cell with someone from another group when they're moving people and everything. So they have to have it in the system.
Yeah.
So the whole time I stayed under the same designator with whites, and I was able to just mingle around and do what I want by the end and just have friends all over the place.
Yeah.
In different groups because I gained that respect.
Beautiful.
And I didn't gain the respect. I don't think I gained the respect by being tough and by fighting because I got my ass beat lots of times, you know? It's not about that. I feel like I gained respect by being authentic and by just, you know, being myself and treating people with kindness and respect.
That's
everyone.
Right. Dude, I love that. I mean, obviously that got you to get to a point where you could be friends with everyone by the end of your set.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference though. Like if someone goes in there trying to be all tough and stuff like that, like they might be the ones who no one likes.
Yeah,
that'll fuck you over. So it's almost like being a good person at the end of the day is the best thing that you can do in any circumstance.
Right.
That's it, man. So then getting into the artistic side of your brain in prison, because you have so much time to yourself. At this point, you have all the time in the world, in a sense, to lock in.
Yeah.
So it's like, what were you doing like a day-to-day basis to kind of train those muscles?
So the first like few years, I was like making music, I was drawing, and I was still using my creativity, but I was also just trying to adjust and to deal with this new environment, which is very different from anywhere I've ever been.
Yeah, that's so true.
And
so it's hard for you to like super lock in because you kind of still had to adapt to being in prison.
Yeah. And I had to know like what boundaries I could push and how to like fit in and stay myself at the same time, you know?
Wow.
And so it's a very strange place to be. but yeah. I ended up like, once I got my foot in and once I was like, okay, I got a routine in and I can lock in and I know what I'm doing every day and I know who I like to kick it with, who is cool to kick it with, you know, who I stay away from, right? And once I figured that out, then I was able to put more focus on art and creative endeavors like I wanted to.
For sure. Damn.
So it was always like, I would say the last like 6 years, probably, I was real locked in. I was learning Spanish, learning Portuguese. I was drawing. I was tattooing. I was writing music. And then you mentioned the Switch.
Yeah.
I eventually got a Nintendo Switch.
How? How'd you get a Switch in prison?
So they had a program, and it was a short-lived program, right?
They're like, everyone's got a Switch.
Yeah. You could buy a Nintendo Switch. That shit, it was a Nintendo Switch Lite, which is normally like $200.
Oh, right. It was the handheld one.
Yeah. And we had to pay like $600 for it, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you got that.
I was
in
like,
prison.
I need that.
Yeah.
I got that. And then I got an app called Korg on it, which is basically like, it's a DAW. It's very limited, kind of like a mini version of Fruity Loops.
Wow.
And
but you can make beats on it.
Yeah, you can make beats on it. Yeah. So I just learned that. And I feel like that really like was essential for me to become who I am today as an artist, because to learn that program, it's not as intuitive as Fruity Loops or other programs, right? To learn to use that program, to be good at it, to make anything decent, I felt that I had to learn about music in general. So I started learning piano, learning about music theory. I'm not like the greatest at piano, but I understand chords and progressions and how it works and just the fundamentals that are necessary for making beats.
Wow.
Because I didn't have samples either.
Totally.
Well, you have the preset sample, the stock samples.
They sound
from
like
the program,
Duke,
right? But to work with those, you got to be cold with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, out of the box, they sound like shit.
Yeah, for real.
Damn.
So I started learning piano, and that helped a lot. And I just learned about, different rhythms and music and different timings. And
did you have access to an instrument there?
Yeah, I had a digital keyboard.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
How?
I bought it. There's a whole marketplace in there, man.
That's crazy. Yeah. So these things would be in your cell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, so you had a little studio.
Yeah. I didn't get the Switch until like a year out from the gate, like a year before I got out.
Oh damn.
Before that, I would be writing songs,
recording that into the program.
No, I didn't have the Switch yet. Before I got the Switch, that's how I'd be writing songs.
Just like
using that as a beat or banging on the table.
Wow.
Something simple just so you can keep writing.
Yo, that brings you back to like old school 90s lunch table, freestyling at the lunch tables. Yo, damn. So it like that, you were really in the training grounds. Like, were you, you didn't have like a phone or anything?
No, I was writing on paper. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, shit, that's the only way to do it when you don't got nothing else, dude. Yeah. Like, it's so crazy because you could tell that, like, you love this shit. Yeah. Like, by any means necessary. Right. Like, at, full extent of the term, by any means necessary, because you're living in, 2020s without any technology, essentially.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
But you still wanted to make music.
Still had to.
Had to.
It's therapy.
Yes, dude.
You know what I mean? It's not just therapy. It's it's part of me.
That's right.
And that was part of my promise to not change who I am.
Yeah.
Like, fundamentally.
Damn. So going into it, you already knew, like, I'm going to be an artist. I am an artist. I've been an artist this whole time. I'm not going to change that.
Exactly.
Damn. Yo. Hey, Martians, real quick. I appreciate you taking the time to listen or watch wherever you are in the world. Over the last few months, the Martian family has grown so much. I could not be more thankful for all of my guests and every single one of you who continue to tune in every single week. Subscribers, ratings, likes, and comments all help us grow here on Mars. And it would mean the world. If you haven't already, please go to onmarspod.com/subscribe to subscribe on YouTube. Like and leave a comment, rate us on Spotify. All this good stuff helps keep the engine running to inspire Martians all over the world. P.S. Follow us on Instagram @onmarspod. Okay, let's get back to it. I feel like that's such an important thing, like, to talk about, like, that time that you spent in there, because that really, like, allowed you to figure out who you were, I feel like.
For sure. Yeah.
And not only like in a artistic sense, but like in a real life situation, people never go to prison in their entire life, and they only like dread and have nightmares about Everest, you know, but you turn something that could be very negative into a super positive.
Right, thank you. Yeah. I try to see it like the hyperbolic time chamber in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Where like they go in there and train and they come out and they're like, you know, just jacked, like, for sure. Just that's ready to defeat Frieza.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm about to whoop that motherfucker's ass.
Yeah. So, getting to the point where you're like at the finish line, kind of, and you're like kind of getting out. Did you already have songs that you were ready to like record as soon as you got out?
Yeah. So I wrote, I believe it was like 113 songs.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Damn. And you you had the paper still and all that stuff? Like you didn't lose anything or forget anything?
No, I kept all my journals. Well, that's actually not entirely true. I threw away the first few. The first 2 journals threw away. I kept the most important later ones. Yeah, the more like recent ones, I kept those. I still got them at the crib.
Damn, so you still have songs that you haven't even recorded that are in that journal?
Tons, yeah.
Yo.
What's crazy is that I love making music and writing so much.
Yeah.
That I didn't even really use any of those songs. I just wrote new ones when I got out. I just kept going, man.
Yo, so before you got out, I do actually want to ask, because this is on my notes, and I noticed that you were in prison when COVID was going on.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That's kind of weird. I mean, they tried to make everyone wear masks. I almost said everyone was wearing masks. Not everyone was.
Yeah.
A lot of the COs, you know, the officers would come in with no mask and get everyone sick. People were dying. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it was fucked up. We'd be like locked in the cell. Because normally you can come out and like go outside for a little bit every day and do classes and do programs and do things that are productive and like make you feel like a regular person in society. All that got shut down. I know people outside were dealing with the same things, you know, but it's a little different in there because you can't just go out to nature. You can't, there's not really many options to, you know, have that relief.
For sure. In a sense, it was way worse because you guys were already limited on how much outside time you got.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like when COVID happened, like we were still allowed to go outside. We just had to be wearing masks and shit like that.
Exactly.
But like you guys just weren't allowed to go out at all.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn. So, I mean, but other than that, it was like normal business as usual. I guess like, like, I mean,
yeah,
were they like moving you strategically? Like, were they only allowing a certain amount of people like, in like the places at once? Or like,
no, they weren't like limiting the amount of people in a unit. But if someone got sick and tested positive, they would quarantine them to the hole, basically, which is a bad place to be. They would quarantine the sick person, and then the rest of the unit would be on lockdown, so you wouldn't be able to leave the unit for months. And so, like, you'd be stuck with the same 70 dudes locked in, you know, in a room for extended periods of time.
What?
Yeah.
How long would they keep the sick person in quarantine?
Usually like 2 weeks in quarantine, and then if they test them again, if they test positive again, then it's another 2 weeks.
Yeah. Damn, dude. Yo, I mean, it sounds just as bad, probably worse than what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But damn, I mean, that was still kind of that was like a couple years in, basically, at that point. So you're like, fuck, I gotta deal with this shit, dude.
Right, yeah.
Yo, fuck.
Now, some of the stuff about like my case and like being in prison and stuff, it's hard for me to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes me anxious. It makes me feel like awkward and like I don't know how to, because I block a lot of it out in my memory on purpose. So then when we revisit it, I have to go find it in my memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And so like, but it's good. It's good to, you know, talk about it too.
Absolutely, man. I think it's an important part of your story. Like I said, those years shaped who you are today.
Definitely.
For sure. And I mean, that moment when all of it changed, that's like kind of that made you who you are today for real. Like, because then you wouldn't have been able to have the life experiences that you had.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
For sure. And also I think it's helpful for some people to hear.
Yeah.
Like, there's people out there that need to hear about stories like this.
Absolutely.
They can avoid being in that situation themselves.
Yeah, for sure. So I see you have a Bitcoin tattoo on your hand. Were you investing while you were in prison?
Yes.
How?
Yeah. So I would trade over the phone, have someone help me, and just call every morning. And I had a Robinhood account, and I just make my plays, over the phone, whatever it was that I felt like gonna be the move. Just call, make it happen,
That's what's up. So like someone would like come in and like on like you would call them every day.
Yeah, I would call them every
from
day.
prison.
Yeah.
Damn.
So like a lot of that money that I used to initially invest came from tattooing in prison.
Wow.
And now I flipped that and put it in stocks, trade crypto and stocks and stuff. Just trying to save up so I had a little nest egg for when I got out so I could record.
Yeah.
And so I could fund my music.
Absolutely.
That's always the goal.
Yeah. Damn. So we didn't even talk about how the tattooing kind of started for real in prison.
Yeah.
I mean, prison tats.
Right.
That's like the classic shit.
Yeah.
How did that even like because you were drawing, obviously you already were drawing. So were you just starting to get to a point where you're like, fuck it. Like, let me try to take a stab at tattooing, and then you just like got someone to try it on, or what? How did that even start?
I was drawing like portraits, like realistic portraits in color. That was my thing. And people would see my art and they'd be like, bro, let me, please tattoo me.
Wow.
And I wasn't very experienced. I'd only like done a few little tats just fucking around.
Before prison?
But in prison, like when people first started asking me, I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Because they'd see my art on paper.
Yeah.
And like I had picked up a tattoo gun a few times, like in the beginning of my set, and just did like little doodle tattoos that sucked. You know what I mean? But man, I really focused and honed in on my art on paper. And once people started seeing it, they're like, oh, I'll let you work on me, So
wow.
I just started like working on people, getting paid, built up my experience. And I figured out how to use that little machine that we got in there that we make.
Yeah, how do you make it?
It's a guitar string, a big pen tube. You can pull a little motor like out of like a PlayStation controller or a DVD player or like beard trimmers, or like there's all these machines that they use all around the prison. They got motors in it. You can bust it open, get the motor out, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Then you build your little setup. You have to like acquire all the materials from all over the place. It's like a video game, bro.
Yeah, for
you
real.
got your little quest checklist, all the like, you got to forge that motherfucker, But
it's like crafting.
Like y'all asking people like, hey, anyone that's got super glue? You're trying to find like all the things that you need,
Yo.
You're in there like melting plastic spoons to get them bent in the right shape so that you can attach your pen tube and run the needle through it and get it to the motor. You know what I'm saying? Like It's a craft.
Yeah. Damn. And that goes back to making sure that you're cool with everyone so you can ask people for shit.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, bro. Exactly.
It's like you asked the wrong person for a pen tube and they'll fucking put the pen tube in your ass.
It is kind of like that. There's people that are just really unstable in there.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Like you like open the door for them and they're like, well, you think I'm a bitch? Like, nah, bro. Open it yourself then. Open it. Yeah.
Nope.
All right, yeah. I swear, bro.
Yo, I mean, that makes sense, dude. I can see it.
So stupid.
Damn, bro. So then I guess the tattoo thing, I do want to talk about it a little bit more. So like, how much were you charging people for that in prison? Like, and how would they pay you?
Right. Yeah, we had different ways of currency. Like one time I traded a bar of soap for a pair of pants.
Yo,
nowhere else are you
barter
doing that.
System.
Yeah, barter system. That's what it is. Someone got something you need, and I'll tattoo for that.
Yeah,
and we get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically.
Damn.
And also, like people will put money on your books, or people will like buy food, give you the bag of food.
Nice
stuff like that. So.
Okay, so it was always different. How much were you tattooing? Like once a day, twice a day? Like. What were you?
Yeah, there was a while where I was tattooing every day, like probably for like 3 months.
Damn, that's what's up. People just you start seeing people around. Oh shit, I did that tat.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a bunch of people in prison that have your tats on them. That's sick.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So did you do a lot of your own art then too? Obviously, or
I did some of it like just practicing, like when I was first starting. Then I was like, you know what, like it's so hard to get some of those angles.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna let other people do my tats, and I'll do other people's tats. You feel me? And we'll trade.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah. Okay.
Instead of trying to be like,
yeah, in a mirror.
Yeah. Which I've done too many times, by the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just believe in myself too hard. I'm like, I can do it. Fuck it. And I try it, and it turns out but probably should have let someone else do it, you know?
Halfway through, you're like, I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah, for real. Sometimes, man.
Damn. So then when I guess, damn, was there really much else where you were just doing tattooing and music really in prison then? And then then getting to a point where you're getting out, you were still in Oregon this whole time, or right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
the whole time I was in prison, I was in Oregon.
Why did you come to Phoenix, by the way?
So my dad lives down here.
Perfect. Okay.
And so that was like super like good for me to be able to come to a new environment and a much different environment at that. Because like, you know, I love my home, like Seattle, you know, but it's so rainy, it's so gray all the time. Some people love that. It's cool, but I spend a lot of time in that, you know. So I just wanted something fresh, something new, and down where it's sunny.
Yes, I love it, dude. No, you came to a perfect place, man. So you
sure.
came here and you got out December of 2024, right?
Yes, sir.
So then January 2025, you're basically hitting the ground running. You release, I think in February, first week of February, you release your first song.
Yeah.
And it's like immediately kind of picks up traction with like blogs and some stuff. Yeah. And you start getting some write-ups. I guess like talk about like that release and kind of immediately getting in here. And I think you went to Salt Mine and we're working with a couple of producers or whatever this case was. But what was that journey like right when you got out?
So originally, like when I first got out, I was looking for the person that was going to be able to make me sound how I want to sound, how I know it should sound. You know, I was looking for the right engineer, the right studio. So I think it was like the second day after I got out, day 2, I went to the studio.
Nice.
And went and recorded.
Was it with Salt Mine?
No, it wasn't Salt Mine. I'm not going to name them. They weren't very good. Okay. I hope they hear that. Hey, yo.
I'm sorry if you're listening.
You know what it was? It was laziness, though.
Yeah.
I feel like the guy, he could have really taken it somewhere, and he chose not to. So he lost my business. Yeah. And that's how it goes. That's for sure. You got to put your heart into it because someone else put their heart into their song. You know? So you got to, if you're an engineer, you have a responsibility if that person comes to you and pays you to do your best.
Yes, absolutely. Because that's your craft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So basically, I went there. I recorded one time. I recorded like 4 songs in an hour.
Damn.
And yo, the mix was ass. The mix was so bad. That man, and that dude still be texting me trying to get me to come back from different phone numbers. I block them every time, bro. And I'm like, yo, I'm not coming back to you. You fuck my shit up. But
we're done.
We're done, bro. You had your chance. But yeah, so I bounced around from a few different studios. I went to Salt Mine. Salt Mine's cool. Good people there. You know, I kept trying different places, and I eventually found someone that like really knows and understands the vision and is really good at what he does. Shout out Alco. Anyone in Phoenix, go work with Austin Alco. He's the best engineer I've worked with, hands down.
For sure. Yeah. For real. He's really good at what he does, and he's super young, and he's been doing it for a long time. He actually recorded and engineered that album right behind you, Ikigai. That entire Futuristic album right there. Yeah, he did that whole thing.
Fire.
So, yeah, man. No, he's one of the best out here. So, and he's relatively affordable as well. So, yeah.
It's like
go hit up our boy
Austin.
Yeah. I think it's $75 an hour. So any artists that want to record with Alco, hit him up. Mixed by Alco, Alco's Room. Yeah, he's actually been on the podcast.
Yeah,
he was he's an alumni of the pod. So.
And it's not just like it is the mix, you know, but it's also just the willingness to co-create and to like actually like put some effort into something. Willing to like tap you in with other artists and like see how they can help you, you know, because a lot of engineers have connections and sometimes they be withholding them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Gatekeepers.
Austin don't do that. So I appreciate that.
For sure, man. No, Austin immediately brought you into the group. Yeah, almost like immediately after you guys started working together, like you started doing stuff with Danny immediately.
Yeah.
And I mean, we ended up going to the Futuristic stream. You ended up getting on the album. That's crazy. I mean, we can talk about that later.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that for sure.
So let me check my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything here before.
Bro did his homework. I'm saying.
Yeah, for real. Oh, dude, there is something on here that I wanted to bring up.
Yep.
the New Direction education program.
No, that's crazy. Yeah. It's a good place, man.
That was, I feel like, a position where you could almost feel like, oh, like regular life again, and outside of prison is like a New Directions educational program for basically incarcerated individuals, and it was like college courses, or like what was it?
So yeah, they pay for incarcerated people, prisoners, to go to college and get an education.
Wow.
Which, is a big lack of education in prison. And sometimes that's part of the reason why that people ended up in prison in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's a really good project, man. And they do a lot of work. And so I worked for them when I was there, and I was a tutor, and I was doing translating. I was helping, people who didn't speak English learn English.
Wow.
And so I'd stand in front of the room, and the teacher would give her lesson, and I'd translate the whole lesson into Spanish in front of everybody in front of the room so that they could work and learn and understand what's happening. You know what I mean?
Damn.
And I'd work one-on-one with individuals, sit down. I had one guy, he's from Guatemala, and he grew up in a tribe in a little hut, right? Wow. And he came to America. But where he's from in Guatemala, he didn't have a floor in his house. He didn't have shoes. He said, like, when he was a kid, they would play, instead of a soccer ball, like if they didn't have a soccer ball, they would like use trash, and they would make a ball and kick it around.
Wow.
And he would eat like rodents, literally cook and eat rodents if they were too hungry, because there wasn't much. You know what I mean? He made it to America. The guy, when he got here, he didn't know a single letter of the alphabet. He had never been to school a day in his life.
What the heck?
He spoke some Spanish, and he spoke his indigenous language.
Yeah.
From Guatemala, from his tribe. And he learned Spanish in prison without being able to read or write, learned by speaking. And then he had to learn English here, And so I would sit with him one-on-one and work, and I would help him sound out 3-letter words in children's books in English and teach him the alphabet, teach him the sounds. And I was able, because of learning Spanish, I was able to communicate with him. It was both of our second languages.
Wow.
So it was interesting, but he told me his whole story and everything, where it came from. And that experience was really humbling for me. You know what I mean? Because like I've had bad times in my life. Shit. But there's always someone that had a rougher experience in one regard, And he had a pretty bad upbringing. So thinking about that and seeing how willing he was to learn every day and to better himself when he came here and had nothing, like didn't know the alphabet. That's wild.
Literally.
And he would come extra time. He'd come 2 hours extra every single day to just try to learn how to read.
Yeah.
And I would sit there and work with him for free, just because it was like inspiring to me to see someone try so hard. It was so like in an educational sense below the average of where everyone else was.
Wow. How old was this guy?
I believe he was like 31, 32.
Wow. Damn, dude. I mean, the fact that you took the time to learn Spanish like led you to the point where you were given the opportunity to be that guy.
Right.
So it's just like all these choices that you make in life, like ultimately end up being like what's supposed to happen. But I feel like that's another instance where kind of being in that experience with that guy kind of showed you firsthand that like, damn, like I thought I had it.
Yeah,
bad,
exactly.
In a sense.
Humbling.
Yeah, dude. That's huge. Fuck, dude. I love that. And I feel like that's just like another, when you're helping someone, that's something that's just,
when
you're helping
it's really
someone,
fulfilling.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I feel like I have karmic debt that I have to pay. I feel like I have to help people and I have to do good things to redeem myself in a way.
Yeah.
So and it's not just about that. It feels good. And if you have the ability to help someone, especially with knowledge, you can give it away for free, and you give it away and you still retain it. So it's the only thing you can give away and still keep.
Wow.
Maybe not the only thing, but it's
yeah.
Right. It is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's an interesting way to think about it. So I try to freely give away, knowledge if someone needs it. If I know something that someone needs to know, sit down and.
Absolutely, man. And that kind of goes back to like the gatekeeping thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of allowing it like to be like open source in a sense where, everyone, especially like if they're, good people, just like if you want to be I feel like if you're a genuine person, you'll want to just help everyone without like I don't know, thinking about it kind of like, well, what can I get out of them? What can you get? Right. You know what I'm saying?
That way you can grow together.
Yes, exactly, man. And that's why I'm glad that you're part of this group, because I feel like a lot of us kind of move in that same way.
Right.
So it's nice that you're already, getting in and getting on albums.
Let's do it.
Yeah, dude. Like you got features. You just showed me a feature that's, I don't know if this is gonna release, but some of these guys they go together so well, and I would have never thought of them on a track together. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to leak anything. I was literally about to say it on camera, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna drop it.
I got some pretty big features on my project that's coming up.
Yeah. So, and I do want to get into the music now, kind of, because right when you got out, like we said, you released that first song.
Yeah.
And there was a line. It was called "First Off," and you're like, "First off, fuck them all." Like that's the first line on your debut song.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, that's the first line. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, talk about the energy going into that first track. And was that one of the ones that you wrote while in prison?
Yeah, I wrote that one in prison. And it was just kind of feeling like everyone left me to die. Like everyone just left me, while I was in there. Not everybody, but a good majority of people just stopped talking to me, didn't ask how it's going, knowing I just went through this whole traumatic experience and that fell off,
Yeah.
And that's it. I think that's a common experience for a lot of people in prison, is that people get scared. And I understand that because, everyone has to protect their own self and their own life, and you don't want to get involved with people that are doing dumb shit, but also people change.
Yeah.
And so I just felt like no one was checking in on me. No one was helping me out, like people that I expected that would.
Yeah.
And shout out to the few real ones that kept it solid the whole time, you know, far and few between.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
But yeah, so first off, fuck them all. That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, you weren't there for me when it was real bad. So now you can just watch. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Because I'm not picking up the call.
Yeah, you're not coming through.
Yeah.
You can just watch though.
Damn. So immediately I feel like people started fucking with you. So did you have like a certain support system already, like right out the gates? Were you just kind of like self-promo, self-marketing, just like, knocking the doors and stuff like that? Like basically online?
Sending messages.
Yeah. Okay.
Like just trying to get in, find community, find a way like to complete my mission, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
By any means.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of mistakes in those first few months trying to make it happen, but they were necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And those mistakes ended up leading me to figuring out how to do it right.
Yeah.
So
it was like basically February you dropped 2 songs, and then it was like basically March, April, and then you released 2 songs, one in February or one in March, one in April. Then you released your album, the EP, the 5-track EP.
Yep.
Welcome Home.
Right.
That was in May.
Yeah.
So that's all of those songs, were majority of them written in prison?
No, so just First Off was the only one.
Oh, nice.
The first one I dropped was the only one written in prison.
Nice.
I recorded so many more songs than that and never released them because I didn't get the mixes right, bouncing around from engineer to engineer.
Got you.
And there's a few other good engineers I worked with. I only mentioned Alco because that's who I'm working with now, and he's been like solid. Incredible, you know. But there are some other good engineers I worked with. I just wanted to find the right one to reach my vision, you know.
Totally.
But yeah, so First Off was the only one I wrote in prison. I wrote the rest of them after. And by the way, everything I've released up to this point is basically teasers. I mean, that's just like, I felt like I had to put something out because I've really been working on a pretty big project that I have big features on. And I mean, there's songs on it that I wrote a long time ago that I ended up getting like idols of mine on, featured on. One of the songs on that album was written in prison, and that song's got the biggest feature of the whole album. It's crazy because I made the beat on the Nintendo Switch in prison.
So the actual beat that ended up being
I switched it out.
Okay.
But I made the original beat on a Nintendo Switch in prison. I wrote the song in prison. I recorded it like 3 different times, 3 different studios. Didn't get it right. Eventually switched the beat out, and I got major major artist on it.
You saw it through. You're like, no. I know this song has potential.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the name right now because it's going to be a big surprise when it comes out. But it's someone I've been listening to since I was young.
Damn.
And I think most people will know who it is. And it's not Futuristic, by the way. Everyone knows that I got songs with Futuristic. That's not who I'm talking about right now.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, that's a good one. I'm gonna have to ask you off camera. So
Yeah. I'll let you know. I'll let you hear it.
Yeah, man. Damn. So then, so I guess in the process of making music, did you kind of like you kind of got traction pretty quickly though? Like
a little bit.
You know what I'm saying?
It never feels
relatively
like enough.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally. It'll never feel like
I
enough.
am grateful though. I have got some traction.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, because it's like 7 months into the year, almost 8 months into the year, and I feel like, you know, you've already like hit a lot of milestones that people take years to even accomplish.
Yeah,
but I think
it
goes back to your drive and willingness to be consistent and the quality.
Push.
Exactly. Just keep going up too, because I feel like from even listening to like First Off compared to like even the last stuff that you released on Welcome Home, some of the stuff is just like, whoa, this is like totally new shit. You're like utilizing your voice more, singing a little bit more, and like that type of stuff. And I feel like that's like I told you before, like I think I love that sound. I feel like that your tone on music when you're singing is fucking sick.
Thank you, bro.
I mean,
but that's another thing. If you're gonna sing, you got to get a good engineer.
Yeah.
you can't be singing and have your engineer making it sound like a chalkboard, having it like way too bright and all kinds of shit. You know, you got to find someone that can at least listen and fix it if it's not how you want it. You know, so it's all taking time. It's been a process, man. You know, but I got it locked in now, and I got something that, like we were talking about earlier before the streams, having something that you can repeat.
Yes,
you know, rinse and repeat. Something that you know exactly what you're about to do, how you're about to create, what you're about to create, and you can just keep doing it over and over again. Find what works.
Yeah,
and I think that's so important. So you like artists, any type of creative, someone trying to start a podcast, someone trying to become a rapper, whatever it is, you're gonna have an experimental phase where you got to figure out what your sound is, what your vibe is, what you're about to really do, and then you gotta know that that's the one. When you find it, when you find your vibe, you got to know that that's it, and you got to own it and run with it and keep pushing that.
Yeah, totally. You know? I love that. And I think that's like huge advice to any creative in any field, like you said, because if you want to do something, you're going to have to put that time and be consistent and try to figure it out first before you can do it forever.
Right.
And kind of finding your voice, specifically like your rap voice and your singing voice, because it's, I mean, obviously when you perform, you have a certain tone that your voice naturally feels like it goes to, and it sounds fucking awesome.
Thank you, bro.
And I think that's like iconic part of your sound. But like, how did you? Yeah, like that kind of tone. Yeah. So how did you find that, and did it come from just hours and like multiple years of just doing it?
Yeah,
figuring it out.
I've written so many songs, bro, throughout my life, and I've gone so many different directions with it. And I think it's when I did it once. I always was experimenting. I did a song where I'm using the style that I've been running with and just pushing over and over. I did one song like that, and I was like, yo, this is fire. This is it. I got to keep pushing this. And I showed a few people, and they were like, I haven't heard anything like that. I was like, okay, good.
Perfect.
I don't want you to say that I sound like anyone, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So like, hear it, and if it doesn't sound like anyone you know, and it sounds good, that's it right there.
Yeah, damn. No, that's huge. And I think there's a lot of creatives that can relate to that, like, oh yeah, I like this. This sounds like da-da-da. And it's like, it's like, I didn't want you to say that.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
Or it's just like, then it becomes like a comparative thing, where if it's like, if the artist is big, then it's like, because there's sometimes people will say like, oh, this sounds like a Justin Timberlake song to some of my song. I'm like, fuck, dude, I don't want to be compared to JT. He's the fucking goat.
Big respect to JT.
Yeah, big respect to JT. But like, I love him so much, man. Like, so it's like being compared to that person though. It's just like, damn, like, then it puts me in like situation where like, well, it's not as good as JT. So are you telling me that like,
It might be as good. It's just not as big yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Right. That's true. Yeah, but I've definitely had that feeling where it's like when someone says like, "Oh, this sounds like this," and I'm like, "Oh, damn."
Especially if you don't agree with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you're like, it really doesn't though. then it's like, what?
It's like, what part of this sounds like?
Man.
Nah.
And people be like, "Oh, this sounds like Kendrick mixed with the Backstreet Boys." Mixed with Taylor Swift. And you're like, bro, that doesn't even make sense. What are you talking about?
3 different genres completely. Just like, what are you even saying, bro? It's like they're just trying to come up with a comparison as they're saying
because they can't find a direct one, and that's probably good.
That's good, Oh, man. So let's see here, bro. I guess I do want to go into connecting with the crew, Austin Alco, and him kind of bringing you into a bunch of connections. And, you did Alco's room. And I feel like even doing those early things allowed people like Futuristic to kind of see you as well.
Yeah.
Because he didn't even really know who you were. And then Austin kind of putting you on and then him allowing you to like come to the stream and stuff like that. All of that. It
crazy.
was just divine timing with everything for sure.
I've listened to Futuristic since I was like 14 years old.
That's crazy.
Like around that age, 14, 15. And that's when I started listening. And I was like, oh, this dude's dope. And what's crazy is that like now, it's a long time after that. Like it's been a minute, but now I meet him in person and do some songs with him, and he's like super cool, humble guy. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And it goes to show like, you have people that you look up to in music, and you have idols and people that you want to be like, and everyone puts this big like thinks of them as more than human, just stars in general, celebrities in general, and a lot of those people are actually really down to earth. You just don't know them in person, right?
Yeah.
And so like you have this fear to approach people who you've looked up to or people who are, bigger artists, and you're like, it makes people freeze up in their presence, but you can't do that. You got to understand that they're just a person just like you, but they did it already and you're trying to do it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And so like, point. Futuristic, super cool, man. He's real humble and just like real open to helping artists that he believes in or that he sees something in. Yeah. And that's cool, man. I respect that big time.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something that you can relate to in a sense, because that's kind of like what you've always liked to do too. Like putting people in positions that they potentially couldn't have been in if you weren't a part of their lives, and the anti-gatekeeping.
Yeah, anti-gatekeeping.
Anti-gatekeeping. I feel like he's always been from the beginning very fiercely independent
independent
as Tim Leftwich
and community driven
told me that. Yeah, for sure.
And
very
that's
much
so important.
Yeah, man. I completely like relate to him in that sense of like just putting people on. That's that shit. He loves to do that, and that's another circumstance where even with Austin, I mean, Austin was I don't know, he didn't really do too much before he started working with Futuristic.
Yeah.
So it's like even with Austin 3 years ago or however long they started working together, I think that was like right when they started working together is when I met Futuristic in like 2022, I think it was.
Yeah.
So it's like him giving Austin the, chance, be like, I want to work with you and just you on this album.
And that goes to show the engineer that he is.
Exactly.
Man.
For sure. And he didn't stray away from that or be too like weird about like money shit to let it go, to let the relationship, die.
Right.
So he honed in and he's just like, oh, this is a huge opportunity. I'm going to make this sound as good as possible. I'm going to get into my bag and like my engineer bag. Yeah. Kind of like we were saying when you went to the other engineer and he didn't really do a good job, like he didn't really care.
Yeah.
Like that was the opposite with Austin. He was like not getting paid that much. And like, it was really just like a opportunity situation.
Yeah, for sure.
And he really took it in stride and been like, yo, I'm going to make sure that like I fucking kill this. So that way, like, forever, and
real talk, those are the people that make it.
Facts.
The people that are willing to work with other artists, the people that don't think they're better than the next guy. You know what I mean? Because if you're an artist and you're super cocky and you're always making people feel some type of way, like they're not good enough, or you give that cold shoulder and things like that, if you're just not humble and just genuine with people, you're gonna crash and burn. Yeah, that's how it goes. You have to be able to network, and you have to be able to show appreciation to other artists. You have to be able to be open to working with people. And if someone shows you what they make and you don't feel like it's right, explain that, but don't make them feel bad about it. I feel like that's where a lot of people locally, like local artists and upcoming artists, they mess up and they burn bridges. You know, they burn a lot of bridges because they get some little motion and then they start feeling like, you know, real cool.
Yeah.
Too cool. You can't be acting like that.
That's so true. Yeah, especially in like a local scene, it almost gets like toxic.
It gets toxic.
Yeah, for sure. And then they get capped at a local artist, and they just don't grow from there.
That really stunts growth.
Yeah, for sure.
And you close off all these different opportunities. When the guy with 200 monthly listeners that wants to do a song with you might end up blowing up, and you close that opportunity early. You had an early shot at that. And you close that, and then he blows up, and you're left out because you weren't willing to work with someone just because they didn't have it going yet. Yeah. And it's hard in the beginning.
For sure.
It's real hard for an artist in the beginning, you know?
Yeah, definitely. No, I definitely can relate to that. Even like with this podcast, like, I mean, it's kind of still in its growth stages, but there's been like times where I've had to like, I don't know, like be in a situation where like I'll ask someone to be on and they like won't come on, but it's just like, damn, like they just don't think I'm like big enough yet. Right. Like, I'm just like, but I'm almost like, I'm not big enough yet. You know, like I see it as like I got to get myself to a certain level and then it'll make sense. You know what I'm saying?
But it's not just about clout. It's also about quality, right?
Yeah.
So like if someone doesn't have a lot of clout, but they have quality, you should be able to see that as an investment. You should be able to have the vision at least to be like, yo, this dude's dope. He's driven. He's going somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Be able to work with them. And you can't just see the numbers. You have to see potential. Yeah. Because if you only see the numbers, take stocks, for example, and you pick something that's already blown up, you just missed that whole growth phase. Yeah. You could have been a part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's good to find people early.
Yeah.
And work with them and build together.
Damn.
And you all grow together.
For sure.
You go up together. One person skyrockets, you got a few songs with them because you believed in them. Now you're up there with them.
Yeah. That's so true.
It happen time and time again.
Yeah, for sure. It's tried and true methods. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening right now with the friend group.
Yeah.
Especially because there's a lot of collaborations happening behind the scenes right now that are literally unreleased songs. There's like so many different collaborations within the group that I've heard and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this song's not out yet.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah.
Like, I mean, my music, your music, Tony's music, Danny's music, everybody. I mean, shit, there's like, that it's so cool, but that's how I feel too, in a sense where, I don't know, everyone's still on their way up in a sense. Obviously, some of our friends are a little bit higher up than some of our other ones, and they've been doing it at a high level for longer than some others, but they're still going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like a person like Kaz or Tony, where they're already kind of at a certain level, I feel like they're just kind of getting warmed up still.
And what's crazy is Kaz and Tony, they're both doing it big right now.
Yeah.
Like respect to what they're doing. Huge respect.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is that they're super humble about it.
Some of the coolest guys.
Super chill dudes, you know? And I've met people who are really not doing shit and they're super cocky about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It goes to show my point is that the humble artist who's willing to work, who's willing to collaborate, who's willing to build is going to make it a lot further than the artist who just closes doors.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. You open one door, leads to 10 more doors that each lead to 10 more doors. It's exponential. That's
true.
What networking is about.
For sure. If you stay in one room and never open the first door, how are you going to see the other hundreds of doors that are open to you?
Exactly.
That's so true. And if you're just like standing at your door and being like, get out of here.
Right. Exactly.
I don't need you. You're not good enough for me. You know, that type of shit. I think that's like, I love that analogy. I do that a lot too, like metaphor, analogy type stuff.
Make
and I
it
feel
visual,
like I feel like you're really good at that because there's been a couple of circumstances where you're like, this is like this. And I'm like, it is like that.
You know what I mean? It helps paint the picture.
For sure, dude. Yeah, but it's very important. As a creative, these are such like fundamental things to success and growth and all those things. And I mean, like we were talking about earlier, it just all ties back to that like scalability thing. You know, like you can only get so far by yourself. And that's just fact. And that's just with any successful artist or any successful company. You know, if you just want to boil it down to business in general, like there's no successful company that is one person.
No.
Not a single one.
Never.
And there never will be because of the fact that you need multiple people doing things at a high level in their respective field to be able to run the machine.
Because time is limited.
Yes, exactly.
Time is one of the most precious things on earth.
Yes, it is.
I mean, people say time is money, but I believe that time is more valuable than money because money is replenishable.
Yeah.
Time isn't.
That's true. Damn. And I guess from your perspective, I'm sure you see time a lot differently than an average 28-year-old man.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, probably.
You know, you take
man.
advantage of it a little bit more. Like you're making sure you're making the most of it.
Yeah, exactly. And money's important too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm a hustler. You know what I mean? I like to do my little thing. I'm a business minded person.
Yes.
And money's important. You don't want to waste your money, but you're better off wasting your money than wasting your time.
That's so true. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I've got to a point now too where if it's not something that I have passion in, or if I don't really want to do it anymore, I'm a lot easier to say no to things nowadays, because I'm like, I don't really want to spend my time even thinking about it if I don't really care about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's really only a limited amount of time and like bandwidth that I can
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's why you delegate, and that's why you collaborate, and that's why you work with people, so that the time that it takes to, it's going to take an hour here, an hour there, an hour there, instead of 3 hours on you only.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
And
dude.
That's how you build. But a lot of big companies did start as one person.
Absolutely. And it kind of goes back to that thing where it's like you have to bring it up to a certain level by yourself, because you're going to have the years of trying things out, throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to figure it out. What is the thing? Once you figure out the thing, then you can only take the thing so far. And then you need other people to help you bring it to another level. That's just how it goes though. And I think, you've done that so well. You took hella time to really hone in by yourself to now it's so easy for you to work with other people that are also doing it on the high level, like Kaz, Tony, Milo, and Austin, and all these guys, because it's, I keep talking about the 24-hour stream, but I do feel like that was such a big moment that you haven't even seen the other side of it yet, because the song isn't out yet. Yeah. But if you guys don't know, basically a Futuristic had a 24-hour stream where essentially he had a bunch of artists and producers submit beats to a pack that he didn't even show anyone until the day of the stream. So basically the day of the stream, he sent everyone that came to the stream and also everyone that was watching the stream a beat pack of, I think it was 10 beats or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
So basically you can listen to all the beats. We listened to all of them on stream, but then after we listened to all of them, then we would all kind of go into our own little respective holes in the house and start writing our verses to whatever beat we wanted to do. So there was a bunch of art. There was probably 15 artists in that house, which was so fucking sick to just be in an environment like that. It was awesome.
Super cool, man.
Yes.
It really was.
So basically, it got down to a point where there would be I think it was 5 to 10 different submissions for every single song that was on the record.
Yeah. So people were fighting for their spot on that album.
Which is so sick.
It was fun.
Yeah. So it was a really cool experience. And I recorded something, Zoey recorded something, Tony recorded something, Kaz, I think Danny did a couple, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it was cool. So anyways, we get to a point and he gets to talk with you.
Yeah.
And then he gets to your verse, and I guess talk about him listening to your verse live on the stream. What was that like?
So yeah, because I was right there sitting in the room, on the stream too.
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm like, man, I hope he picks my song, you know what I mean? I hope he picks my version of this. And there was other really good artists that had submitted their verses to it too.
Yeah.
So it was it was a tough toss up between everyone. And so he listened to it, he liked it, and then we kind of had a room debate because there was some different opinions. And some people wanted Anthony on it, and some people wanted me on it. And we all kind of talked together, and someone suggested, why not both? And so we ended up just settling on putting us both on the song, which was super cool.
Yeah,
and it worked actually, because me and Anthony have very different styles.
Yeah.
And so it turned out to be a really cool song in the end. It's got different parts to it. It's real entertaining.
Yes, absolutely. And I think Zach's decision to put you on, I think, is a really cool decision, because your style versus his style is different as well.
True.
So it kind of adds a whole nother flavor to his album in a sense.
Yeah.
So
another
I think
element to it.
Exactly. It's win-win-win all around.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
both of you guys got on the album. Zach's got a cool feature, and you got a song with Futuristic.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing though, what a lot of people don't know is I got another song with them.
Oh, okay. So this is something that you did post
actually,
stream?
we did it before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Was this something that you brought to him or did he? Okay,
I brought it to him. So that one is going to be coming out pretty soon.
Dope. That's what's
Should
up.
be in August.
Nice.
So it's looking like.
Nice.
So everyone will get to hear that.
Is that done and recorded?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's finished.
I want to hear it for sure. After the thing. Yeah. So do you have a hard release date on that yet, or
on the song?
On the song, yeah.
We're talking about the end of August. I don't have the for sure date right now. I gotta run through distributors and everything.
Yeah. So this will come out this Friday. So this will be out basically like end of so it'll be actually I think August 1st is this Friday, I believe. So this will be out August 1st, this podcast. So by the end of this month, if you guys are listening to this when it comes out,
go listen to
Free
Zoey and Futuristic.
Yeah, that's huge, man. So I mean, right now you're at I think like 5,000 monthly listeners or something like that.
Something like that.
So we'll see where you're at in a month from now.
Right.
Because
I got some.
Zach released a song with the artist named Tane, and got him like 30K.
From like 200 or something like that?
Yeah, like 200 monthly listeners to like 30K in like 5 days.
That's crazy.
Insane.
And I got 2 songs with them.
Yeah.
Like one on his album, one is going to be on mine.
So yours is going to drop first, which is sick because it's like on your profile as like just like a solo, like a single.
Yeah.
Versus like as part of like a whole album.
Yeah.
So that's sick because there's a lot more. I feel like singles get pushed a little bit more.
Yeah.
Especially
than each song
on an album. Sure. So you have a little bit more like reachability, and especially when it comes to playlisting.
Yeah.
So you'll have a little bit more reachability in that sense, which is gonna be fucking sick, dude.
I'm hyped on it, bro. I'm hyped on it.
Yeah, dude. Congrats.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Of course, man. You worked your ass off to get to this point, so it was a matter of time. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of time before we get a song together too.
Yeah, we gotta run that, bro.
Yeah, I have so much music, bro, and it's like it sucks, man, because I haven't locked in with Austin, and I want to because I do everything myself right now, and it's just like I've always done that, but I feel like getting to that point where I can like bring it to someone else and be like, okay, what do I need to do?
Well, it also goes to like the other value of collaboration is no matter how good of an engineer you are to your own music, someone else is going to have a different take on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when you have 2 different opinions and 2 different people collaborating on something, it usually turns out better because you can hold each other accountable to what's not perfect. And
for sure.
Be perfect.
Absolutely, man. And that's how I feel too. And it's like, I've always done it to a point just to have something on paper. You know, like I always just like, I always do something to have something out. Like, I guess put something down is my idea. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's crazy because I get to a point where I'm like, I am not an engineer. And I'm like, damn, this could be.
I've been there.
You're so much better, dude.
Yeah, when I used to produce my own beats, I'd make some cool stuff. I'd be proud of it, but it's not like what the masters are doing.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather just work with them.
Yeah. See, you know dude. Yeah, you're right, man.
No. But I mean, it is good though to work in like a studio with an engineer that's what he does all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's his lane. So I have to. I mean, all artists, you can only take it to a certain level. It's like that's just how it is. But yeah, I can't wait for us to get a song together. When you were showing me some of those songs, I was like, damn, dude, like I wish I was there, dude.
Yeah, for sure, man.
We gotta have more sessions as like a group, man.
Yeah,
for real, because we've only done it a handful of times, and every time that I get together with those guys, we fucking make magic, bro. Every time,
yeah.
It's like it's crazy. I mean, you can. It's hard to like get in a room with creative, talented people and not make something crazy,
right?
Unless just the vibe is off. But like those guys' vibe is just so good every single time. It's like
definitely,
yeah. Tony, Kaz, Danny, and I have worked together on a couple occasions. Milo and I really haven't had many sessions together, writing wise. But yeah, dude, we all got to get together.
And man, Tony 22, that dude is dope,
dude.
Like
crazy,
and he can take it so many different directions. Very versatile, you know. We just did a song, and I was not expecting him to snap the way he did on a rap song.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he sings.
Yeah,
sings mostly.
Yeah.
He raps, but like he sings for the most part. And so the way he came off in that song, I was like, "Who are you?" Yeah, man, that shit blew my mind.
For sure.
Yeah, that'll be out pretty soon too.
Okay, cool, nice. So that was one of the ones that you showed me earlier.
That I showed you.
Yeah, that shit's crazy, man. And it was cool because it was one of those songs where as soon as he came in, I'm like, Tony,
right? Yo,
this is Tony.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. There's been a couple times where we've had like karaoke nights. There was one karaoke night at Tony's house for his birthday. This was not that long ago, and he was fucking freestyling on Playboy Cardi type beats on YouTube, bro. And I was like, yo, this dude can rap.
For real, yeah.
It's like he gets into a bag. So it's cool that you're able to like put that side of Tony on like a song, like a rap song. You know what I mean? Because it almost allows him to, because Tony's audience isn't like a rap audience.
Primarily, so when he was recording, I was looking around. I was like, "Yo, anyone ever seen this side of Tony before? What's he doing right now? That's crazy."
Yeah, dude, he's about to start a third persona.
For real, yeah. Like, it was a good vibe, bro. I love working with real artists that are just passionate about their craft.
Yes, dude,
it's the best thing.
For real, man. Yeah, for real. And I think it goes back to like all of us have been doing it for so long, like individually too. So it's like, again, it's just easier for us to communicate.
Yeah,
because I've been in rooms with people, even recently that like that haven't been doing music or like haven't really honed in on their craft very much, to the point where it's like it's not as easy to communicate on like a musical level, because it's like there's not a lot of yes anding going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like in situations when you're in rooms with creative people, there's a lot of like piggybacking and kind of like what we said earlier.
Yeah, the energy.
The energy is like the yes and like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, the hype, like this. What about this? Da 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 da. All this. Oh, dude, that's crazy.
And then we had Milo Marks there in the session with Tony also, man.
Sure.
He can rap too, and he just has a good energy. You know, he brings. Sure. Like, he makes everyone around him happy. So he came through and he brought the vibes and snapped on the song too. So
dude. Shout out Milo.
Shout out Milo. I'm stoked for all of this to come out, man.
Yeah.
For my project to come out.
For real.
And me to be able to show like when I really take time on something and am consistent and build like a big project that, you know, it comes together.
Yeah.
Like all that persistence and all that time pays off. And if you're willing to put in that type of energy into your craft and you're willing to just keep pushing and, you know, build a project, like a long project, and don't just keep releasing songs just to get affirmation and get feedback, you know, build a real cohesive project and take your time and polish it and put that out and see where it gets you. You know, that's what I would advise anyone who's got a little motion already.
Yeah.
Work on something big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show people who you are.
Yeah, man. And that's what people used to do. Like, you used to have to wait years before you got an album sometimes from artists.
Right.
So, like, before streaming services, where it's like people would literally take years of their life to hone in on like one certain energy and vibe for one specific project that came out, and it would be 13 to 15 songs.
Yeah.
And you had to buy it at Walmart, you know, on the day that it dropped. It's like, and then that would be kind of what defined that artist for that moment. So,
yeah, man. And there's something about just listening to a whole project, a whole album, that's like you can really know who the artist is.
Yeah.
You get that playthrough, and you know, when every song links to the next one.
Yeah.
And it just feels like a masterpiece.
For sure. You know? Yeah.
I love on a long drive, like when I'm going anywhere that takes longer than 30 minutes, I try to find a whole album to listen to.
Yep.
It just really brings me into someone else's world.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I've had a lot of musical phases where I'll just listen to one album for months,
and then it becomes really important to you, right?
For sure. Yeah, it becomes a part of that era of my life.
Exactly.
Like straight up. Like there's specific albums that I tie to like turning points in my life. Like Nothing Was the Same, Drake in 2013, 2015, the To Pimp a Butterfly, that Kendrick album,
one.
Like very
Fire.
pivotal moment.
Yeah.
2014, Forest Hills Drive by J. Cole in that same like 6-month time with To Pimp a Butterfly, which is a crazy time in music. Like 2014 Forest Hills Drive and I think To Pimp a Butterfly came out within like 6 months of each other, which is just such a beautiful time for music. Yeah. So it's like, but that was like when I was first moving to Arizona, you know, and then like shortly after that getting into, I think it was 2016, Good AM by Mac Miller, you know, that era.
Rest in peace, Mac Miller.
Rest in peace, my
You know, people compare me to him a lot, and our music doesn't really sound similar. People just compare me because they think I look like him, which I don't even think I look like him really. But you know,
you're just a white rapper. They're like,
I
oh,
show
Mac
them my
Miller?
music. I show them my music. Sounds nothing like Mac Miller, and they're like, you remind me of Mac Miller. I'm like, bruh. Yo,
you never listen to Mac Miller.
Yeah. Is it because we both got a flower tattoo on our neck? I think that's it.
That's probably what it is. It's just like, oh, white rappers. It's
exactly.
just like how with Mac Miller, people are always like, you remind me of Eminem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I don't sound like him at all.
I feel like that is respect to a degree too, because I respect him as an artist.
Absolutely.
And so it does feel cool to like be compared to someone you look up to.
For sure. Yeah. That's one of those artists that like changed the game for independent artists as well too. You know? So yeah, but albums definitely like you said, they kind of become very important to you when you listen to them in their entirety versus just listening to one song or just listening to like top 40 radio, because then it's just like all so mixed bag all the time. It's like you kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit hard, but I could still relate to a certain degree, like the 2000s era. That's when I was listening to a bunch of radio and stuff like that. And like the Now That's What I Call Music CDs. Do you remember those? Those like mixtape CDs, they were called Now. Do you remember Now?
Not really, no.
Oh shit, it was basically
like Kids Bop shit.
It was basically like adults Kids Bop. It was like the reason why Kids Bop got made was because of Now.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically it was like a collective of like all the most popular songs for that year. And it was called Now That's What I Call Music. And so we would get those CDs and they were always like edited radio cuts of like certain songs. But it's like, so certain times there's like, you can tie like singles like Hot in Here by Nelly, you know,
right.
like 2003, you know.
The era.
It's an era of music. But if you were listening to like the Nelly album, that whole album though, you probably had like a different respect for that song, Hot in Here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't just see it as like a fucking radio hit. It's just like it was part of like a collective album,
right?
So,
and then you get it's like almost like reading a book, because you get to have that whole story
context.
You know, you get to have context for each song and how they go and play off each other.
For sure.
That's why, you know, just creating an album, creating a big project, it's so fulfilling.
Yeah,
because you really get to put your heart into something, build it, watch it grow, and it takes time.
Yeah,
all good things take time.
Absolutely, man.
You got to have patience.
Yes, absolutely, man. And so you're working on the album now, and there's a lot of songs that are going to start coming out here soon.
Yep.
So there's one last thing I wanted to ask you about before we go, and it's video games.
Okay, and yeah, run that.
I feel like because you came over for the 4th of July, and you had your own controller, is that right?
Yeah, I bought a controller. Yeah.
When someone rolls up to play video games and they have their own controller, you know they mean business.
For real, yeah. Hey man, that, you know what? I gotta look at the camera. Anyone in Phoenix who wants to smoke in Super Smash Bros, I'm here. DM me.
Hit him up. Straight up.
Oh.
Yo, but you cooked that night.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk about where video games. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you went undefeated. I mean, you and Nick Lamarck.
No, I didn't go undefeated. Nick Lamarck, man, that dude's a savage. He also brought his own controller.
He did. He
brought an adapter for his controller.
So this is what it was. So he actually hit me up before, because he was talking to Danny before. He was just like, yo, do you guys by chance have GameCube controllers? And I'm like, yeah, I got a GameCube controller. I got like a GameCube and stuff. And he's like, okay, cool. I got an adapter. I'm going to bring it over. I'm like, okay. But I didn't realize he's
cold on Smash Bros.
Like
super cold. By the way, Nick, if you see this, I want my run bag. And no, you did not go undefeated, by the way. But he's dope. Let the record be straight, but he's good though. He really is.
Very good. But so did you did you always have a love for video games?
Yeah,
and I mean,
for sure.
Okay, so this was like a thing that was through
since childhood. I remember getting that see-through green Nintendo 64 with the Donkey Kong 64 cartridge, the yellow cartridge with the controller. Bro, that was like a whole nother world.
Yeah.
And it brought me somewhere else, bro. I feel like in a way, like games like that, like iconic games like Ocarina of Time, Donkey Kong, Majora's Mask, you know, all those like classic Nintendo 64 games mainly. I feel like that contributed to my creativity in a way, bringing me to these other worlds and letting me see, you know, something that you don't see in regular life.
Yeah.
But some people find it through movies and film, you know. For me, I like video games. It's something that you go into and you get to experience it and you get to make decisions, and you know.
Absolutely.
And so that's my escape. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't use drugs, like not anymore at least.
Right.
You know, and so if I feel like I need to just get out of reality for a second, that's what I do. I play video games.
Yeah. So what are you playing nowadays?
I'm playing Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Okay, because you got the Switch too.
Yeah. Which I got it with me, and we're gonna play some Mario Kart.
I'm so excited. I still haven't played it or even seen it in real life, so I heard it's crazy. Yeah,
it really is.
Did you already beat it?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't, because I've been stuck in Donkey Kong. Man, not stuck like not progressing, but I've been just stuck on it.
Yeah,
like, man, that game is dope.
Yeah. Did they make like a remake of like the 64 type stuff, or
it's
like
a lot different
new...
than the 64 one. If you're expecting Donkey Kong 64, it's not really like, it's not a successor, it's not a remake, it's its own beast, but it's really good.
Yeah,
I think it's better the longer you play.
Yeah,
so I've been on that.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what's up, man. No, I feel like video games, entertainment, and they all kind of tied together. Like I feel like a lot of musicians and artists love video games, and I think there's something about that. Like there's like a direct correlation with people that are like creative people, where like they probably played video games as a kid.
Yeah, I always wanted to be a character in a video game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Hell
like
yeah.
Like, you ever played Ready to Rumble boxing?
Oh, shit.
And they had Michael Jackson in it, and like some other artists. They had like Lucy Liu and some like just, you know, famous people as boxers.
Right.
Like, I want to be in a game like that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That would be
that's a dream.
For sure. Or like a Tony Hawk game.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
make me a Fortnite skin.
Dude.
Let's go. You
that
know
would
what
be
I mean?
sick.
I mean,
I'm
not there yet, but you know, time will tell.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yo, in the future, dude. I can see that. I feel like that'd be sick. Would also, this is a side question. Are you interested in like acting and shit?
Not really. I'm a terrible actor. You know what I mean? I'm not the greatest actor. I mean,
have you tried it?
Kind of, not like in a real sense, but like skits and stuff, you know.
For sure.
I'm not a very good actor, man. That's not my thing. But under the right circumstances.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Under the right circumstances, I give it a shot. Someone could train me. You can learn anything.
For sure. Would you be more open to like voice acting for like video games or like movies, I might do or some stuff like that? Like
I think
animation.
It depends, honestly. If the role was right, I would probably do good. You know what I'm saying? If it's something that was close enough to me that where I could execute it, like if I really locked in, I'm sure I could
for sure
pull something off.
Yeah, I think as an artist, like I think you could lock into like a lot of different types of art. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like channel like your love for music into the art of, you know, being an actor or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just embodying a character in a sense. Kind of the same way that like you embody the character of Free Zoey when you get into the booth. Yeah. It's the same.
Just lock in and
for sure.
Up.
I was just wondering because I was like, I feel like I could cast you in something.
Man, we can try it.
Eventually, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna make a cartoon. I've been talking with Tony too. We've been. I don't know if you know this, but Tony's a crazy animator too. Yeah. So I don't know how much you talked about that, but eventually,
man, we're gonna get some deep lore. I used to make stick figure animations when I was like 10 years old.
Yes, bro. So you get it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Pivot.
Yeah, dude. Oh shit, Pivot. That was that a software or
it's a stick figure animation program.
That's right. Holy shit. You just like when you said that I was like, whoa, dude. There was like Flash games that I probably used to play that were made with Pivot.
Yep, exactly.
Like the stick figure like shooting games and shit like that. Did you used to play those back on like mini clip addicting games type shit? Newgrounds. Yo. Whoa. Just unlocked all the memory, bro.
Crazy.
Oh man, yeah. So I'm so excited for the future, man. You got so much coming up. My fellow Martians, you got to go follow Zoey. It's at Free Zoey for real. I'll put his handle right here. Go follow him on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that stuff. And we got a lot of stuff. He's got a lot of stuff coming out here that he's talked about on this podcast. So make sure you follow him so you're up to date on all new things. He's, like I said, only up from here. Also, go follow at On Mars Pod. Fellow Martians, we love you so much. We'll see you next time on Mars.
Yeah, later. Free Zoey!
Free Zoey! Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this episode of the On Mars Pod, and for sticking around to the end, man. I really appreciate you guys. You are the real Martians. Like this video, comment below what your favorite part was, what was most inspiring to you. Subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications here on future interviews coming out soon, and also follow us on Instagram at On Mars Pod. Love you guys so much. We'll see you next time on Mars. There. 78, baby. Let's get it.
Let's get it. 78?
Episode 78?
Goodness gracious, man.
Yeah.
You've been cooking.